Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Lorenzo's Mission a Day. Today is day 13 with the corresponding mission 13. Hopefully this will be a lucky number instead of mission 12 on day 12, which was quite disastrous. What I've done after burning up many spacecraft, well, the two of yesterday, is installed the Ferrum Aerospace mod, and that supposedly improves the aerodynamic realism of the game by applying friction and heat to the parts that are actually exposed to it instead of all of them. Now the effects are most pronounced for aircraft, which we don't really dabble with, but it should improve the realism of rocket launches as well. If you know me a little bit, you know I've done a minimal amount of research, just put this mod in there so if any unexpected explosions do happen, I won't know exactly what caused them, apart from stupidity in rocket design. Now, as you may recall, we are on a very shoestring budget now, 1,000 credits, with which we can't really do anything. The situation is as follows. We want to send a probe to Val, for which we will need a sizable amount of money. This mission, the Kerbal 1, to send a probe out of the sphere of influence of Kerbin, will pay a handsome 85,000 credits. We have been trying to accomplish this mission yesterday, but we failed. So what I'm going to do today is try again, basically, with this mod and a different flight profile for the cheap budget rocket we have on the launch pad. However, this mission plugin allows a flight testing mode. This is basically a simulation for expensive wind tunnel testings, consulting the experts, gauging how your rocket will do before launching it for real. We are going to use this, and it will basically only charge you a fraction of the rocket price. Obviously a mission cannot be accomplished with that, but we are going to go into flight testing mode and launch this rocket, see if we can make it happen. If we can, we're then going to do it for real. Now, previously this first stage went fine. Then this second stage, which is basically just a booster with the probe on top, accelerated too fast, overheated and exploded. So what we're going to do now is launch the rocket and then attempt, well, we're not going to attempt anything, we're just going to do it. Then we ride out the momentum from this first stage. So basically we are simply going to coast to a stop after this stage has burned out. Wow, we are really accelerating a lot faster than we were in the stock game, I suppose. Oh shit, and we are... I have no idea what's just happened. Everything turned red. Oh, there's heating effects on the way up, that's what happened. I'm such a pro rocket scientist. The rocket is going a lot faster than it was yesterday, probably because of the improved aerodynamics. Now with only the heat shield suffering drag, that gets heated and the rocket goes up a lot faster. So we can see the heat shield is very hot already, and it's almost half ablated. Also the rocket is tumbling a slight amount, and now we are just going to wait this high speed through the atmosphere, the heating of the shield, and this flight profile will put us outside of the atmosphere, and then we are going to launch the upper stage. So we can see this only cost us about 300 credits, because this mission is not for real. Now I think, because this is a plugin, I think I could still transmit science data and whatnot, but obviously I'm not going to do that because that'd be cheating. So we're in space now, and then we can launch this, which will handsomely put us on an escape trajectory. Pretty sure that will work out. So I am now going to return to the space center. This isn't saved in the real world, which is just as well because it was a flight test. So now hopefully there isn't too much variance in the performance of this rocket. We are going to switch the plugin back to flight mode and fly it. Now obviously this 700 credits is not enough to fund this rocket. What we are going to do instead is borrow the money. The plugin allows you to borrow money. It does it automatically. If you don't have enough, it will put you in the red, and of course your first earnings will go back towards not being in debt anymore. Additionally, they will take a 25% cut of the profit, so this is quite bad, but at least if we make it this time, we will have money to do a second mission tomorrow. See here, the vessel cost is 18,000. This is too much. We'll be about 17,500 in the red. Now all we have to do is get out of the sphere of influence of Kerbin, and that will not be an issue anymore. So here we go, launching this rocket. Hopefully it will perform just the same as in testing. And I think now, yeah, look, all of these parts have now temperature readings, and it will tell you if it's shielded, which I'm a little bit worried that it says false, because we obviously have a heat shield on top here. Is shielded says false. I don't know, maybe that's aerodynamically shielded, I don't know what that's about. If you know what that's about, please leave a comment and enlighten me. Ditching these solid boosters, and this seems to be getting pretty hot, or lukewarm, whatever you'd like to call it. So this shielded is probably for the aerospace mod, because if the heat shield itself isn't shielded, I don't know what is going on. At least the temperature of the things behind the heat shield are pretty reasonable. This core is, well, yeah, it's pretty reasonable, and I'm happy with that performance. Just to be sure, we're going to wait until we're out in space to activate the second stage booster, which should be plenty to put us on an interplanetary extra Kerbin trajectory. So there we go, launching that. Now control with a probe like this is a bit of a problem. So basically I've pointed it straight up. I'm not going to attempt any maneuvers. That would be quite silly. Now what I could have done here, which I have not, is decouple this heat shield. It's just dead mass now. This probe is not intended to ever re-enter anywhere, so carrying a heat shield out into space is decidedly silly. Wow, it even makes noise before it explodes. How does that explode? Is just a single booster not capable of boosting anything anymore in space? I am fairly confident that we will now have failed the mission again. Yes, we throttle down. We don't have enough antennae. That is silly, because the probe is for sure heading out there. Kerbin escape trajectory, but it doesn't carry any antennae anymore to relay its findings home. Now that is a bummer, but we know how to fix it now. We're going to leave this one behind, and we are going further into debt. If we then finish the mission, we still should be in the positive, allowing us to launch our Vol mission, but this career is not the best thing cash wise. So we're going to make a new rocket. Let's have a look. What's this? This is we don't need this. Going to hide this off screen, and basically all I'm going to do is replace this booster that has been nothing but trouble with a simple fuel tank and a small engine. This one, our trusty engine, throttleable, and should provide us with the same thrust to weight ratio, same delta V approximately, and give us a whole lot of control. Now the rocket, yes, it's in red, borrowing money. Thank you for saying that. Let's have a look. I'm trying to make, oh no, I'm trying to make it show how much this rocket will cost. Here it is, 19,000. A little bit more expensive, will be over 30,000 in the red. Let's give it a quick go, and hopefully there will be no explosions this time. That counts as an explosion. Oh no. The side boosters were not strong enough to support this rocket on the pad. Now I could go back into the vehicle assembly building and remedy that, but then again I could have put landing struts, I could have put launch lamps on it, which I didn't because they were too expensive. So we're going to eat that penalty and launch without the side boosters. A great beginning to a crucial mission. Here we go. Oh no, It's unbalanced even. We have to induce some spin because two of the decouplers, they stuck. Whereas the one exploded, imbalancing this rocket, and now it's tumbling. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. This is going completely wrong. This is going completely wrong. These plugins I've installed have killed my space program. This is nothing short of disastrous. Nothing short of disastrous. We are even re-entering, and can we... No. Well, look at that. We are not crashing just now. We're just not crashing just yet. We are still go for space, if you believe it. If you can believe that, we're still go for space. The fuel is not running out. It might be enough. It might be enough. Who knows? But we're still not pointing up. We're still not going fast. This is not looking promising. We're heading back to the launch pad. Okay, keep it there. Keep it there. Go up. Now I wanted to go up, not sideways. Surprise, surprise. This... Oh, the heat shield apparently vaporized off as well. So this is not a very aerodynamic rocket, and I can tell by the way it's not controlling at all well. So far these mod additions have only caused headaches, but no, it's part of the fun. We're trying to make a space program, but halfway through it, the air decided to behave decidedly different, which has thrown our trusty rocket engineers, in other words me, for a curveball. We are clearing the 12-kilometer mark, but we are also still going sideways. So I think it's fair to say that this probe won't be going to space today. Instead, it will be trashed. All the sensors are gone and lost, and it's back to the Space Center after this crash. I'll fast forward that for you. Here we are, back on the launch pad. I put the boosters a little bit higher so that the central booster could support the rocket. I still don't want to spring for the expensive launch clamp. And I put some wings on the booster. Could be a catastrophic mistake, could be a life-saving addition, so that our stability control system can at least try and keep this rocket on course. Now, we're currently looking at a almost 30k deficit with a 20k to add on to that. If successful, we're going to earn 85,000 credits minus a quarter because we're starting from the red. I think we can be happy if we make it to $0 today. So without further ado, here goes nothing. So far so good, everything is going straight up, and there is some wobbling as the computer desperately tries to keep it straight, but that seems to be working out pretty well. We're going scarily fast. Maybe I should have put these boosters, maybe I should have omitted them altogether. We're going really fast now, but in the flight test this at least worked out fine. I'm going to leave these boosters on to provide some extra drag to slow this down, because I'm just too scared of the heat. Not something you're going to hear a rocket engineer say often. I'm going to leave this on to slow us down, but here they can go, jettison the boosters, and everything looks to be going well so far, and we are on a throttleable rocket, so we can just go ahead and deploy that. Our heat shield has started to cool down, it has stopped ablating, so I dare say we are looking good. Our liquid engine will butter us out of the sphere of influence of Kerbal, and the heat shield is rapidly cooling, whereas the engine and the tanks are obviously warming because the engine is firing. This is no surprise, and everything is looking in order. Solar panels are still attached, antennae are still attached, and the heat shield is still there. So perhaps we will have finally done it. launched a very simple probe in 4 or 5 or I don't know how many attempts due to some changed aerodynamics and lethal re-entry. So log the gravity data. Wow. We can transmit that data home. We can even get some science done. That's been a while since we got some science. Very welcome indeed. A pressure data cannot be done, doesn't have to be done either. A seismic data, no. Oh, oh shit, that was close, I think. We drained the electric charge by transmitting, but that doesn't matter because if the electric charge drains, there is no more control in a probe core like this. This very basic probe has 2 solar panels, which is not enough for a 360 degree coverage. Therefore, we have to make sure that the sun is in view of one of these solar panels. I am puzzled now by the science reading because it told me I got 60 science points for this data, not for this one, and then when I transmitted it, it told me 1.2. Maybe that was just a bit of it, or what? I don't know what happened. So, oh, it's still uploading. It's 0.2, but still 0.2 per 1 doesn't seem to be enough. At any rate, I'm going to rotate the craft to get some more suns. And I think in the meantime we will have escaped the Kerbal sphere of influence. Great, we have reached escape velocity, the rocket has not exploded. Some very significant factors there. And this is going to be our space probe. Now I have not checked to see in which direction we are actually leaving Kerbal sphere of influence. If this is going to be a pretty high solar orbit. We are going to escape many things. Let's have a look here. Separate this, decouple that, and now we have just our spacecraft here. First things first, we are going to cash in the mission, finish the current mission, and with the deduction for our starting in the red, we are now at 14,000 credits. Not a huge amount, but still we have our probe and it is in space. It is rotating too fast for me to grab hold of the graviola data. Gravioli data that's still transmitting. So we're going to give that a little time to do so, and we're going to get rid of the heat shield because we don't need that anymore. Bye bye heat shield. I'm going to do a small course correction to not hit that if we do decide to accelerate. So, but there we go. I'm going to aim one of the solar panels to the sun, where it should give us maximum radiation exposure. So here we go, still near Kerbal, transmitting data home. Could have packed some extra batteries, but we didn't. What I'm going to look at is the next mission, Kerbal 2. This is a mission that will reward us 60,000 credits to escape the sphere of influence of the sun. Now we might be able to redeem our horrible cash efficiency a little bit by escaping the sun on this mission. We are going to try and do that because we still have a full fuel tank a full tank full of probe fuel, still good for about a kilometer per second of delta V, and as you can see we are already quite in the process of escaping the sun. Incidentally, we launched almost in precisely the right direction to do that. So I'm going to fire this rocket now and see if we can make that. And if we do, we are in good shape for our next mission. If we don't, we'll have to figure something out. Now this burn is probably going to take a while. So let's have a look. Yeah, I'm going to accelerate time for that. Do the physical time warp, which you can't use with big ships because it will break up your ship. But fortunately this is a very small ship and we can safely use it. This engine is so tiny it doesn't even heat up appreciably by firing it. So when this engine runs out, hopefully we will be on an escape trajectory out of the solar system. That would be very nice. because then we would get money. Now, the fuel is all gone, and let's have a look what that did to our trajectory. Yes, this definitely looks like we did it. There is no apoapsis marker, there is no periapsis marker. This little spacecraft is going places. For now though, we're still fairly close to Kerbin, so we're going to attempt another science experiment. We already did this, so we don't have to transmit that. We're going to attempt to transmit some of this data from a solar environment. So to do this, we first have to time warp us to that sphere of influence of the sun. So we are saying goodbye to Kerbin, never to come back home. A probe like this is what I wanted to put near Val, but that's now probably going to be a little bit larger. Because we are going to get the money if all goes well. So here we are out of the Kerbin solar system. Look, here's the probe from earlier today that is leaving the solar system but doesn't have any antennae on it. So here we are in solar orbit. Going to try a gravity reading for that science. This is the first time a gravity probe has made it to solar orbit, and this is a monumentous science amount, which I'm going to immediately and very happily transmit. A great bonus, 660 science points. That's amazing. As usual, we don't have enough electricity to transmit all this data, but we will. Let's have a look. We can probably accelerate time. We got 90 science points. 90 science points and 24 science points. That's not 60% of 600. Am I reading that correctly? 60% transmission value. So 60% of this should be at least 170. So let's try that again with some time warp on it to accelerate our electricity generation. Let's have a look if we can do that. Jesus, it will take a long time to generate all this. Fortunately, the sun is still relatively nearby. So this gives us 60. I think these probes are faulty. They are only transmitting about 30% of the data instead of this 60%. Anyway, 30% should be, it's about a third, should be 50 for this one, 50-ish. So let's check that. If that happens, 50-ish. 50-ish data we're going to get for this. 30. I don't understand what's happening here. I'll leave it at that. If you have something smart to say about that, please do, and then you can enlighten me. We can finish the mission. We are in the green again. We have money, which was not a sure thing at the beginning of today. Going back to the space center, leaving this probe on to fly its probe missions, and we might check back on it in a few days when it's very far out of the Kerbal solar system. Going to have a look at the mission for tomorrow. And remember, we still want to get a probe near Val. Our launch window has expired by a few days, but we should still be able to launch something and get it near Joule. So we get Kerbal 2, that is done already. Vostok 2 requires Vostok 1, which is here. Bring a manned probe into a suborbital flight around Kerbin, reach an altitude of at least 70 kilometers. Color me crazy, but I think we've done this. Anyway, we might combine this with a Val probe. Just hitch a capsule to the probe and parachute that down so that we get some money. That's my speakers exploding. Not sure if you can hear that, but I'm getting some phone calls. So we can do Vostok 1. We could do Juna 1. A probe to a high polar orbit around Juna. Well, I'm pretty sure the launch window is not there, but we do get 150,000. The ComSat contract mission is repeatable. Oh, this is good. We can get 65,000 credits if we bring a probe in this orbit. So we only have to attach a small probe to our exploration rockets that can hitch a ride on the launch vehicle, and we can recoup a good bit of the cash. Great. So that's all for tomorrow. Quick visit to the science building. We have 270 science points now. Can we get some nuclear rockets with that? 300 required for this. Some aircraft stuff, 90 required, and this all requires 300. No, we can't get any useful science done. Oh wait, here's one hiding here. Landing science. No, we can't get any useful science done. So I'm going to leave it for tomorrow, where we will design and hopefully fly a probe to Vol, which has been a few days in the making. Hopefully we will be able to do so. So until next time, this was Lorenzo. As always, if you've liked it, click the like button, click subscribe, and share it with your friends if you're so inclined. If not, it's fine as well. Anyway, this was me, Lorenzo, wishing you a nice day, and see you tomorrow. Goodbye.